Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Accommodation Show. This week we are joined by a gentleman called Cole Rubin from Conduit. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bart. Excited to be on here and excited to chat with you.
This is one of those episodes that we've been aiming to record for, I said 2 years. You said it's probably been a year. We were both at VRMA a few weeks ago and our paths didn't cross. And then I realized that because I was talking to a colleague of mine called Dennis. He runs Casiola. And he said, you've got to talk to Conduit again. You've got to get them on the show. You've got to share what they do with everybody. So I've been frantically sending you messages on, I think I emailed you and LinkedIn you, and maybe WhatsApp, trying to just make sure that we make this happen. So I'm really grateful that we're finally getting a chance to have a chat and to introduce what you guys do to our audience. So first off, how are you going? And how are you feeling after VRMA?
Feeling good. Exciting time working in SF, especially with kind of all the technology going on in AI. And then post VRMA, incredibly pumped up after that one. That was a great success for us internally. Tons of customer conversations, tons of opportunities open. So definitely doubling down on the conference circuit after how that last one went.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that you said before the episode is that one of the bits that was the major successful was that you weren't necessarily going out there and trying to pitch your product. People were coming to you through referrals.
Majority of those conversations at VRMA were a customer who we had telling someone else to go talk to us. So it was incredible just to have warm intros where they're coming into the conversation with some extra trust in what you do. Selling AI, that's always like the biggest hurdle to get through with people is like, is this AI actually going to work? Is it good? Do other people use it? Do other people trust it? And when they hear that from a user's direct mouth, it's like, yeah, I'm on autopilot and 80% of my messages were automated last month. They come running over to the booth and they want to chat and they want to see what's going on. So it was great to see that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So how about before we get into it, can you just give us the elevator pitch for what Conduit is?
Of course. Conduit is a platform for businesses to build conversational AI agents. We work with tons of hospitality operators, deeply integrated to the PMSs, some of the OTAs directly. We're building this omni-channel inbox where all the communications is coming into one hub, and anything that the AI knows, it's automating. Anything it does not know or the user has specified we don't want it to handle, it's escalating back to them. So very hospitable AI that knows its limits and knows exactly when to bring a human in the loop to close the ticket.
Yeah, amazing. And then how long have you been running for, and what's that kind of that journey to get you to where we are today?
Mm-hmm. We started this in late 2023. It was just myself and my co-founder Pun. It started as just a Slack app that would integrate to the PMS and Slack you suggested responses to send to your guests, and you could just approve it right in Slack. We applied to Y Combinator with that idea, and we're thankfully accepted into the Winnie 24 batch. And that's kind of when this all kickstarted, was early 2024.
Wow. Y Combinator. I'm going to stop on that for a second. You're the second person I've talked to this week that went through the Y Combinator program. The other one being Y Hungry. I don't know if you've seen them. But they also went through Y Combinator, and they said that they had it opened a lot of doors, a lot of opportunity, but particularly to the product side of things, just kind of getting that part sorted. And they said without that, it might have been very difficult to get to where they are today. And I think that's a real testament where you're working with an established system to then that can at the end of that process to come up with like real products that actually do real things. Is that your feeling with it?
I think it's different for every company. Everyone is dealing with different things that they lean into their group partner for. For us, it was largely around just focus on what exactly to be building and being really disciplined in who we were trying to serve. So
Hmm.
out of the gates, it was like a very, very tight customer profile that we were serving and going after. And they were just, very adamant on like sticking to the basics, not trying to like boil the ocean right out of the gates, and just have a very defined ICP who you can repeatedly get. And each time it gets easier and easier, and they get happier and happier and continue to pay you. So just, to say more concisely, they were just really helpful in getting you to forget the BS and just really laser focus on the most important things.
Sure. So ICP, customer profile, what's the I stand for?
Ideal customer profile.
Ideal, yeah, of course. Um, and that's interesting because I know that your focus is on property managers, but on a certain size. Was the size part of it something part of the ICP, or did that come later on?
Yeah, so the listing count was out of the gates very paramount in our GTM strategy because we were selling a help desk platform with AI in it, and we just found that teams below a certain size did not get enough value. Like it wasn't a big needle mover. Like someone with 30 properties where they're managing the bulk of their business themselves on an iPhone, that was not the intentionally not the customer we wanted to go for out of the gates. We were going for 100 plus listings. They have a support team, they have people behind a computer kind of 24/7, and they're looking for something that they can implement and reduce the headcount they need to keep up with messaging or triple their listing count with the same headcount.
And so, one of the things that you had identified quite early on in the piece was guest communication is fragmented and very repetitive. And I guess that your vision was to automate that particular problem.
hmm Exactly. And to be able to automate all the messages, the first thing we had to do was build a really good inbox, omni-channel inbox. So we
Mm.
found at the enterprise within short-term rentals, all the managers were opting for horizontal enterprise tools,
Hmm.
inboxes to aggregate their messaging. So they would be using like a Zendesk or, a Freshdesk, Intercom, these tools that are great tools, but for hospitality, they're not the best. They don't integrate to your PMS natively. If they did integrate their, say, Zendesk to their PMS, their CTO did it internally. It was an expensive,
Hmm.
pain in the butt thing to do. And then OTA messages never came into these inboxes. So, like, you'd get a message on Airbnb, they'd have a ticket in Zendesk for an Airbnb message. They'd click that, log into Airbnb, send the message, go back to Zendesk and close it. So it's like, okay, like this is a bigger problem we need to solve before we even get the privilege to focus on good AI messaging. So we
Hmm.
really spent like the first year building this inbox platform that aggregated all the communication channels directly into one place, could be set up in a couple minute onboarding call, and then had the ability to bring in other stakeholders into the platform. So out of the box, you get the guest inbox prescribed, but you can actually add more inboxes for the other types of people you talk to in the business. Because these communication channels are used not just to talk to guests, but to talk to homeowners, cleaners, vendors, even
Hmm.
leads for homeowners looking to have their property managed. So
Yeah.
through the inbox, we delineated all these different types of stakeholders and became the control panel really for all the communications. And then from there, really double down on a lot of the AI features that have enabled us to, in a lot of cases,
Yeah,
automate.
yeah,
hmm
create that extra value, right? Like obviously
hmm
having the one inbox is solving a huge problem already, right? We've got
hmm
it's probably one of my biggest issues in my business right now. So I'm gonna have to talk to you
Yeah.
a bit more deeply. Where literally between LinkedIn, WhatsApp, two or three Instagram accounts, two accounts on Facebook, five accounts on Facebook. Now we've got a TikTok, we've got YouTube account. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
probably preaching to the converted. We've got all these different channels where people are sending us messages and then things get lost or they get forgotten, or you'll see a message like, I do need to get back to that. This can take me a little bit longer to do, or, I'm not able to. So having that unified inbox is important. And when we're talking about hotels, short-term rentals, then you've got all the OTA channels. But how are you guys handling also those alternate channels that I just mentioned?
Like your social media channels.
Yeah, for example.
So social media channels, we have WhatsApp integrated directly, which I wouldn't really call that a social media channel.
Yeah.
And then we are going to be launching actually later this year Messenger and Instagram DMs.
Yeah.
So those chats will flow into the unified inbox as well. And just over time, we're continuing like our PMS and horizontal integrations, continuing to add more. So in the future, we'll hopefully have like your line to serve more customers in Asia,
Sure.
your Messenger, Instagram, etc.
Yeah, fantastic. So for now, that kind of biggest focus is on that sort of OTA guest com thing. And I take it, what about email as well? Is email
Yeah,
coming in to you guys?
email is as well. Yes,
And then phone calls
phone calls too. So phone calls we
and
added.
SMS. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep, SMS as well. So phone calls we added earlier in the year. So it's a full VoIP system as well. People have ported numbers from OpenPhone, Alloware, Google Voice, and been able to delete those subscriptions. The benefit of using our VoIP is everything's in one app. You get a phone call. Our system knows it's who the guest is. So you see it's Cole calling. He's at this property, these dates. You can click it and answer. And then when that phone call is happening, the AI is transcribing it and storing it with the guest. So, give you an example of why this matters. Guest calls you frustrated that something's broken in the house and then sends a Airbnb message asking for the Wi-Fi password. We're not just going to give them the Wi-Fi password. We're going to take into the context what just happened on that phone call and send a message like, hey, I hope that issue you called about is resolved. Here's the Wi-Fi password. So we have the full context
Mm-hmm.
into every channel the customer is talking to us so the AI can respond as accurate as possible.
It's amazing. And obviously with SMS as well. It's interesting as well that people have different methods of communicating, right? And it's interesting that you identified there. They're going to call you and then send you a message on Airbnb and maybe WhatsApp you in the future or whatever. And it
Mm-hmm.
really does become a problem to make sure that you can stay on top of it. How do you guys make sure that how do you identify a client, right? Like, how do you make sure that it's the same person? Is it on email, phone number, a customer ID? How do you know they are when a message is coming through that it's linked to the right record?
Good question. So through the PMS integrations, we'll pull all the reservations in and they have, assuming it's an OTA that uncovers the guest's email phone number, if we get email or text or call from one of those channels mapped on the reservation, we'll automatically map it. But say, Bart, you book, and then someone else in your group sends us a text. We don't have their number because they weren't in your booking. It'll show up as an unmapped conversation, and then you can just click, map that contact up to a reservation, and now it's mapped.
Got it. Got it. That makes complete sense. So is there an app on your phone, or or is it within a dashboard online?
hmm It's mainly online web app. It's compatible on the phone, so it works. Not all the functionality that you have on mobile, but you can get by if you need to do a quick
Sure.
message on mobile. But
Yeah.
the main way people use this on mobile is through Slack. So the Slack bot can just escalate you and tell you like when it needs you, and you can just like approve the message right there.
Right. So Slack is the central point that's driving everything, and then you guys got the comms going in and out, everything associated through Slack. Is that right?
Well, I wouldn't say it's like the main control panel, but it's like a mechanism we have to escalate to you to ping you when you're needed. So you can have like a workflow where a certain thing, this happens, it sends a Slack so you know to jump in. Or like when there's an urgent message or something the AI doesn't know, it can Slack you with a little like description of the reservation, the booking, the property, what the guest said, what the AI wants to say, and then you can just click approve on Slack
Amazing.
and that will actually send it to wherever that guest sent that message.
Yeah, got it. All right. Awesome. I feel we're going a bit in the weeds, and I think we can let's take a step back, and then we'll go back into it. So obviously, the AI part of it is something that I want to spend a bit of time on, and talking about the future of guest expectations and operational efficiency using tools like this, and what people need to be looking out for. Because obviously, you guys are building stuff, and it's cool, but you obviously have a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge in the space. So you'll be able to guide people and say, hey, if you're looking to automate your business, these are some of the things you want to think about. But one of the things I really want to understand, and this was based on my conversation with Dennis, he's like, but you really need to talk to Conduit because it's doing blah, 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 blah for my business. What are those things? What are those things, those main things that you would say Conduit is really a game changer for the clients that you work with?
Mm-hmm. So we're omni-channel inbox. We're bringing in multiple stakeholders to one app. The biggest thing we do extremely well is automate the guest communications. We're seeing people, a manager sent us a Slack this week. It was a screenshot of their dashboard. They said, I'm scary, it's taking over. It was 85% of the messages were automated. And this is a manager with over 250 listings. So it was thousands of messages. And I checked the satisfaction score. It was a 95% customer satisfaction. So it's not only automating like an insane high number of messages, the satisfaction in those messages, we actually benchmark it compared to all of their humans in the business still. And the AI is sending the most messages, it's the fastest and has the highest satisfaction score.
When we're talking about those, and that's incredible. That really is incredible, and we've got there already. It's interesting though because I'll come back to it because I do want to talk to you about tools that work and tools that don't work, right? Because it's very easy to make different claims and for AI to hallucinate, and you need different guardrails and different processes for that to happen. But I want to go back into that. So you've got the guest communication, like if you've got issues and that sort of thing. Are you working on any of the before booking communications? So people have got inquiries about whether things are available, local amenities, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so all the inquiries, leads coming in, we can automate as well. And then one thing we've done that's really cool is within our app, we have custom tools that are built out of the box. A tool is just something the AI can call, talk to get certain information in the simplest way possible. The tools we built are ones for availability, getting and pricing. So you could call with our voice AI and be like, hey, hotel, I'm interested in booking a room. What's available? Say, hey, Cole, we got this and this room available. It's this much a night. It has all of the listings. It can know like descriptions. So if you're like, I want one with the pool, it could look at all your listings and actually serve you up one. So it's that is automating a lot of the pre-stay communications, especially like hotels with the front desk where that's the call they get all day. It's able to automate that pretty much entirely end to end now.
Wow. Okay. Cool. And then what about upsells?
Upsells, we're doing those as well through our workflows. So you can build an upsell that say 3 days before check-in, check the calendar, and if there's no one checking in on the day this guest checks out, let's message them offering them to extend their stay. And you could even like the late checkout, early check-ins. The biggest snafu with those is coordinating with the cleaner. Like, do we know if the cleaner can come earlier or later to accommodate this? So you can set up triangulation in the workflow where when we detect the upsell opportunity, we text the cleaner, hey, are you available to come 2 hours later today or come to the next day or whatever the upsell trying to do is. Cleaner can respond back yes. It can then take that feedback and now offer it to the guest. Hey, do you want to purchase the upsell? And then if the guest wants it, it could create a ticket or a task or send a link to the team to process it and check out.
So with these workflows, how much of it is kind of pre-built and how much of it as a as an owner, do I have to go in and start to dig around and start to figure out this? Because what you talked about sounds absolutely incredible, right? I'm like, that's the best workflow ever. But I've never built that workflow for myself, right? I've never really thought about it. I don't know, like maybe it's a great one, but maybe I'm not technically inclined to sit there and think about how this is going to play out and what the guest is thinking, and then where the workflow might break. And I don't have that expertise. How much of it is kind of pre-built already for people to be able to just jump in and go, all right, well, these 20 workflows look really good. Oh, I'm gonna do the early checkout, the early check-in or the late checkout workflow. I'm going to do the selling a bottle of wine workflow, that kind of stuff. How much of it is kind of ready out of the box, and how much do we have to think about these things?
Mm-hmm. So out of the box, we have templates in there, which will give you inspiration to just click accept. It'll put the workflow in your workspace, and
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of tweak the messaging, tweak what happens. So the templates kind of give you the inspiration to get started. That using the app, it's very simple. It's all no code, drag and drop, clean UI. Um, it's more like you need the creativity to think like, oh, this AI
Mm,
stuff is new. Like the concept of
sure.
triangulation escalating to a cleaner, like this is new stuff. So they look at the template. Everyone has different systems too. So maybe this one's a Slack user, this one's a WhatsApp user, this one's
Yeah.
making tickets in Asana, this one's doing Monday.com. So they kind of customize the integrations a little bit. So the templates are really good for getting people started right out of the gate. During onboarding, we'll scope a couple workflows that we'll build with you so you can kind of get the hang of it. And then we have a natural language workflow builder. So you can just click, create a new
Say what
one,
you want.
tell the AI what you want it to do. The AI will build the workflow, and then you just accept it.
I can smell that there's a opportunity for a marketplace of experts that organize this stuff for clients, right? That will go in
Hmm.
like it's all good getting price labs, right? You can learn about price labs, or you go and you get now one of the 1 million different revenue managers that are out there. They're going to go and optimize everything for you and keep an eye on
Hmm.
it. I can see that in this space as well, that there's so much opportunity to optimize your business. And if it's not your expertise, it's not your expertise. But there'll be these people that, if they've done 10 projects and that creativity comes in. So that one's free on me.
No, I mean you hit the nail on the head with that one. We've already there's a if you go to the website, there's a partner marketplace
Cool.
that we're building out right now, and like you would hire a consultant when you buy Salesforce or Zendesk to set it up. We
Yeah.
see a world where people are hiring Conduit consultants to build bespoke workflows that internally we don't have the resources to do for every single
Sure.
customer.
Yeah, absolutely. You
We've
guys are
also
focused on
launched
making it a better product, right?
exactly. We've launched to I don't know if you're an Alex Ramosi fan, but a school community where
Yeah.
our users can join that and they're talking, sharing stuff they're building. We're doing a weekly webinar in there where we're walking through use cases. And then we've built two courses in there as well. One for support reps, quick one that they can just watch, take, get the rundown on how to use Conduit operationally. And then we
Mhm.
have an advanced course where you can actually learn how to build all these workflows, custom tools straight from scratch.
All right. I love it, and I say all right in that way, not because I don't think it's amazing. As it's really incredible. My hat goes off to you, Cole, for what you've achieved and what you guys are working on. It looks fantastic. And
Thank
it's
you.
it's it's really clear that it's kind of been approached from more of a developer's sort of mindset, with the view of obviously tackling really important issues, but you guys understand your tech, and I can see it hands down with what I'm looking at, and I've been around the block a couple of times. We've only got 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna quick fire some questions for you. When we talk about the phone part of it, and you said, "Hey, we do that." How does the phone integration part work? What service do you guys use to get the AI talking to the person, and then I take it you guys have bought a license with someone, right?
This is all stuff that we've built in the app. So the telephony is like we're not integrating to open phone or anything. Like it's all on our service, and the phone you just go in there and configure your chat agents. I mean, we didn't invent the telephony aspect of it. We're just using Twilio for that, but
Yeah.
everything else we've
So
built. I mean, like,
Twilio, but then who's doing the talking? Is it Open AI, or is it Claude, or is it who's the voice person?
so the voices are mostly 11 Labs voices.
Yeah, cool.
And then the
Okay.
models, we're using all the latest and greatest models for different use cases, GPT-5, Claude for some of the reasoning, Gemini. For context, to generate one message, it's not just pass it to the AI and get it. It's about like 6 AI calls of 4 different models that the system like thinks through to generate one message.
How do you guys make sure that it's working?
Just a lot of testing, evals. We use a lot of tooling internally just to benchmark this stuff. I mean, no short answer to that outside of just a lot of iteration.
And what in terms of your tech team, your developers, is there like a whole army of you, or because if you look at uh, I'll take Meta for example, right? Or Airbnb. Airbnb's been working on the same sort of problems, right? Trying to get AI automated communication with guests, and they've got some pretty serious dollars behind them. And obviously, it would be incomparable to where you guys would be at.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you can't do better, right? Because you can move faster, you can innovate, and it can be the brains behind it. What does the tech team look like for you guys?
Mm-hmm. We are a team of right now we're 6 engineers, um, growing incredibly fast. So I mean, any full stack or AI engineers out there who want to
Yeah,
work at
what a
Conduit,
job.
track me down. Um, but no, I mean, a lot of this technology is brand new that we're using. Like anyone that's said they've been using doing AI or ML for 15 years, like a lot of what they learned in the past is not what you would do today because you have like OpenAI, Claude, all these amazing frontier models that you can work with. Um, and this is all new. So like, these 20-year-old engineers are a lot of times better at building with this technology than these guys who have been doing it for 50 years with
Sure.
these fancy ML degrees.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And that's something that came out of some conferences that we've been at recently was you've really got to invest in the younger generation that are coming through that are growing up with these tools now, right? Now, you said 2023 is when you guys were playing around with, it was 2023, right? November.
2023, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when ChatGPT actually launched, right? Pretty much at the same time as you guys working on your tool, and then
Mm-hmm.
everything has changed so quickly. To wrap us up, I feel like we should talk a bit more, and I'd love to geek out with you on some of these individual concepts, right? Like be it the phone and everything like that. But I'm really interested. Obviously, there's this tool which is great, and it does what it does in terms of if you were to try to give people advice as to them approaching all these AI tools. One of the things that you just said to me was you got Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, 11 Labs, and then even you mentioned Twilio, which is kind of a different thing. So there's just so many different tools which are out there, and apparently there's over 50,000 different AI tools that have come out. Some of them are wrappers, some of them are well developed. If we think about our space, right? Let's talk about hospitality, hotels, short-term rentals, that particular segment. And then people are like, "Oh, cool! I want to make some changes and use this AI thing because AI is amazing." What would your best advice be to them to go from where they are now to making some positive moves for their business?
So getting AI adapted, I'd say like the biggest things you want to start with is like where are you spending the bulk of the time and where is the repetition? Is it the guest messaging? Is it the accounting? Is it some kind of research project that you guys do internally? Like small example could be like lead generation for new homeowners. Like maybe it's like a repetitive process you do over and over. Um, and I mean, it's kind of funny, but I would ask the AI like how you should automate this process. Just go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, I want to build a workflow that every day, checks my new reservations and maps it to this QuickBooks record. And the AI is going to be like, oh, you should use Zapier or N8N, and you need to use these three nodes and do this workflow. So I guess my advice would be ask the AI how to use more AI.
And I think that's right, especially if you're doing that. There's a little feature on both Gemini and ChatGPT, which is a deep research. So you can really get it to go out there and do a lot of that legwork to try to find some of those better tools rather than just that first answer, which is kind of always a bit surface level. But if you do the deep research, it can really help you find those tools. And maybe one of the things you would do as well is actually ask, and if you can't find out what the repetitive things are in your business, then ask it to help you find what those issues are, because it's very hard. Once you get going, it's a lot easier. What are your thoughts? VRMA, loads of people doing AI tools. One of the things that I really feel about it is automation is really what we're talking about. Whether it uses AI or not, it doesn't really matter. AI is just it's something that can help. But the automation is really something that I think is got a huge ability to change things, and now we're a lot more capable of adding automations to our business, more so than ever before. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Totally. I mean, we see it all in the news, all over social media. Like every business is thinking like, how do I get more AI adopted? Like we get people who book a call with their sales team and they're like, we don't even know what you guys do. There's AI. Like we know we need AI. Just kind of tell us what we need.
So, but what I'm getting at though is the automation more important than the AI part of it?
I mean, I wouldn't really, I'd argue that there's not much of a difference. Like the AI without automation is like a human with no soul.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Any final thoughts or any final tips you would like to impart on people, Cole?
hmm Final tips. I mean, as it relates to guest messaging in particularly, and like people start to think about some of these AI options out there, I think the biggest thing you want to evaluate and hammer down is like how automated like will this thing be? Like what can it handle, and what do I not want it to handle? And what does that AI to human handoff process look like? Because
Mm-hmm.
we're not in a position where 100% of it is going to be automated. Uh, and I don't think we ever really will be there. There's always going to be some kind of human in the loop interaction, and you just want to make sure that that process is something that's going to work for your business and is to your comfort level of how much is going to be automated.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. Look, Conduit is the name of the company, conduit.ai. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I really appreciate when somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, take a look at this stuff." And we had already been talking before when you had your different company name, and now it's switched to Conduit, and it's great to get that market validation, right? That you guys have been there now. Everyone's kind of talking about it. I am excited about the product because I know that it's solving such a massive issue for so many business owners, and it's a game changer, right, for a lot of people. And if I look at your website, I look at some of the companies that you're working with. A lot of them are friends, clients, colleagues, and I'm looking forward to seeing that list grow and for you guys to progress with what you're doing. So really exciting. Congratulations, well done. And folks, if you're interested in the product, then jump onto the website. Cole, is there any other way is that the best way for people to kind of keep in touch with you guys?
Yeah, reach out to us through the website. It's conduit.ai. And then if you guys are interested in more AI stuff, I'm posting a lot on my personal LinkedIn recently. So connect with me on LinkedIn at Cole Rubin.
Gotcha. Terrific. Now, folks, if you are listening to the podcast on Spotify or on iTunes, give us a like, give us a follow. 5 stars is what we would like. especially if it's from a genuine human being. It means that we can do more of these episodes, get legends like Cole on the show to spend his time talking about what he's doing and giving you some advice and tips and showing you a bit of behind the scenes as well of what it takes to grow a company like his. Don't forget to subscribe below. Cole, amazing to talk to you. I'm looking forward to talking to you in the future. Hopefully I can drag you across to this side of the world, to Australia. Otherwise, I'll catch you over in the States sometime soon.
Sounds good. I'm due for a trip out there, given the amount of customers we're working with over there. But greatly appreciate you having me on here, and looking forward to the next one.
All right, take care, mate.